welcome back to my channel. For those of you that are new here, my name is Danielle, and for those of you that are returning, thank you. So I'm gonna film a video. Oh my gosh, I keep recording all these videos and then not editing them and then getting super like just over it and whatever. So I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna edit this. Whatever it is what it is. So I was literally watching other story times here on YouTube, and it was like crazy lies like guys have told. So it literally triggered a memory, and I may have included this in one of my other stories, but I didn't go like into detail, I don't think, exclusively for this situation. So if you haven't already watched, I had 3 videos called The Toads Before the Prince. I should probably rename those videos. Maybe they'll get like more action, but it's basically like this, the dysfunctional relationships that I was in, like long-term relationships before I met Hector. And so one of the guys was the one before, basically the relationship I was in before Hector. And this guy was like a sociopath. He was a liar. He was a druggie. Just everything bad. I think in my story I may have called him Javi. I think we called him Javi. And that video was a long video, so I couldn't spend time necessarily on every little thing that he did. So I'm going to give you a brief recap of him. So basically I met him. He was a customer. I met him through my old job, but my mom encouraged me hanging out with him because she said there's nothing wrong with having friends, because I had newly moved back to California and I had no friends. And so we started going out. Everything was good at the beginning. He was a single dad. He had 2 kids, and I really liked him. I really loved his kids, and it started off normal. He was actually kind of a weirdo, if I can be completely honest, because when we first started talking, I had no intention of anything ever happening with him. We had went to the movies, and then he tried to kiss me, and I was like, no, that's not first date etiquette, and there's somebody walking this way. I hope you can't see me. It's raining outside. But anyways, so I had no intentions of anything like pursuing with him. And I remember sometimes he would even be like, oh, like, do you feel that too? And I'm like, feel what? Like, you know, because he was saying like he had feelings for me and stuff, but he was such a weirdo. And yeah, eventually I guess it worked, and yeah, whatever. So we started dating, and he was always accusing me of cheating, accusing me of being shady, just always like, it was just so exhausting what I had to go through to always prove to him that I wasn't cheating, that I was being honest, that I was being loyal, that I was being faithful. But it was just like the accusations didn't stop. And I would always tell him like, dude, like, this is either you're super insecure or this is your guilty conscience, because it's one or the other. Like, you need to get it together though. And it turns out it really was just his guilty conscience, because he knew that he was being super shady all along. I mean, from messaging other girls to actually seeing other girls, just the whole thing. Lying and stealing from me, just cheating, doing drugs. Like, it was just all bad. But the craziest lie that he ever told me, it was just like beyond, above and beyond, just like craziness. So like I said, he had 2 kids. I'm trying to think how old they were when we were dating. I think the youngest may have been like 5 or 6, and then the other one was like 8 or 9. I don't know, around those ages. So he basically told me, this is how dysfunctional we were. Let's like backtrack. So he wanted me to send him my location to show him that I was home. And I thought that was really weird. And I was like, well, fool, send me your location, you know, so I can see that you're home. And so he was like, well, send me your location first. They kind of turning it around on me, like, you know, acting hella insecure. So I sent him my location, and then I'm like, okay, now send me your location to show me that you're home. Like, you know, cause he was trying to start a fight for like no reason, and his ass wouldn't send me his location. And then I started getting irritated. I'm like, shit, like, if you wanted me to send you my location, why? First of all. Secondly, I did it. Now where's yours? And I call him, and he answers the phone, and then all of a sudden he goes, no. Oh, He said her name. It is what it is. He goes, I don't know. Susie, no. I guess I'm gonna have to edit this. Motherfuck freaker. So yeah, he goes, whatever. Susie, no. And he hangs up the phone. And I'm super confused. I'm like, what the hell? So like, I'm trying to call him back. No answer, no answer, no answer. And so he ends up like texting me like way later on, like that his son and his daughter like were like playing, and that the son hit the daughter in the nose, and that there's blood everywhere, and that he had to rush her to the emergency room, and all of this stuff. And a lot of time had already passed, and I was like super like, what the hell? Like, okay, then where are you? Like, do you want me to go? And he's like, no, I don't know, whatever. He was saying like he didn't want me to go. It was just like the whole thing was super freaking weird. Excuse me. It was just so weird. And so he even is sending me pictures. Like, he goes to a hospital. He sends me pictures of the little kiosk where you sign in at. And then he's like typing his daughter's name and sends a picture of that. Because I'm like, if you're like, I don't know. The whole thing was super weird. It was super sus. So I'm like, well, send me pictures. Like, you know, like, if you don't want me to go, like, basically prove to me where you're at. Because number one, you asked me for my location. Then I send it to you, and then all of a sudden this tragic event happens and you don't want me to be there, like with you and your kids. Like, the whole thing didn't make any freaking sense. So he's sending me pictures, but not of his daughter, just like of these like random items in a hospital, right? And I'm like, nah, like, I don't believe you. Like, I don't believe anything happened to your daughter. Like, you're a freaking liar. Like, the lengths that this guy would go through. And so I was like, no, I don't believe you. I don't believe you. And he's like swearing up and down that he's at the hospital. Everything like that. So the next morning, I wake up to a freaking wristband on my car from the hospital. But it was like a guest wristband. Like, it wasn't like when you get checked into the hospital, they have your name on it and everything. This was just a guest. It said like a room number. And I was like even more confused. So I was like, you know what? Screw this. Oh, the reason why he didn't want me to go was because his mom didn't like me for some other drama that had nothing to do with me and everything to do with him. But of course, he was a manipulator. And so he turned it around like that I was some crazy girl, which was like never the case because his mom used to love me. But go watch the video for that drama when he kicked in my car. But anyways, there's a freaking wristband on my car. So I'm like, this is like, what is this, you know? And so I end up just getting the balls and calling his mom straight up. I don't care that she doesn't like me or not. So I was like, I called her and I was like, hey, so-and-so, I'm really worried. Javi called me yesterday and said Susie busted her nose open and was in the hospital. Like, is she okay? And I just basically put everything that we have to the side, and like whatever. Oh, that's a whole nother story. Oh my gosh. So after that whole incident, the drama of when he kicked in my car, if you haven't seen that video, go watch it. His mom straight up went to my job and told me off. Like, she was being super ugly to me, like just going off on me, saying leave her son alone, like leave the kids alone. It was like this crazy madness. So yeah, I totally forgot. I don't think I included that. So yeah, the mom really, really didn't like me, even though I had nothing to do with like why her son was acting like a freaking psychopath. He was like on drugs. He was like psycho, but he was like playing the victim, putting everything on me as if I had anything to do with the fact that he was freaking crazy. But anyways, so the mom really didn't like me because she thought I was just like a bad influence, which was like, girl, you used to love me. Like, your son is the issue. How do you not see that? But anyways, moms will always have their son's backs. But she was like, what are you talking about? She was super confused. I was like, he called me. He said that Susie was in the hospital. I said, I woke up to a hospital wristband on my car. She's like, that didn't happen. Let me call you back. Let me call you back. Because she's thinking, well, shoot, like, did I miss something? Keep in mind, he lived with his mom. So the mom ends up calling me back, like, after talking to him, and he told her that girl's crazy. Again, flipping it on me, saying that I'm crazy, that I'm making it up, this, that, and the other. And I was like, I swear to you, I am not making this up. I was like, I have screenshots of these messages, which I sent to her. I have the wristband, which I took a picture of. I said, this is all him. Like, he's just playing games, and he's lying to you guys, and he's lying to me, and none of it makes sense. And I'm really like, my hands are all like in the air. Like, I really don't want anything to do with this right now, you know. It was already at that breaking point, you know, before I actually fully ended it. And so she's like, his sister's gonna be up there right now to your job. I have a cough, guys. Excuse me while I die over here. I spilled water on myself. I'm legit choking. Excuse the water on my shirt. I literally just spilled water. Anyway, so she tells me that his sister is gonna come. Dude, I literally, like, my eyes, I was crying because I was choking. So she tells me his sister's gonna come to my work and basically go through the messages to make sure that they're legit messages, because he's telling her that I'm photoshopping shit. Like, he's going to the extreme to make me look bad, you know? And so his sister pulled out with her girlfriend. And so she's like, let me see the messages, let me see the wristband, nah. So I give her everything, right? I hand her my phone. I'm out there talking to her for like a good 30 minutes. And she's just like in disbelief that her brother is like going to this extreme, and like she's just like, he's not, she thinks he's on drugs. And at this point we're just speculating. We didn't know that he really was on drugs. Okay, we're speculating that he's on drugs. It just doesn't make any sense. She's just like, you guys are not good together, like this, none of this makes sense. Just like, she's like, I care about you, and like I know you're a good person, but like I need you to stay away from him, because he keeps lying to you, keeps lying about you. Like, it's not healthy. And she was right, it wasn't healthy. It was like so freaking toxic, and he was like, it was just so bad, and for no reason. It was like literally, like, it was so uncalled for, but that was all his behavior, that was all his actions. Like, I can say like, oh, like there's two sides to every story, blah blah blah, but legitimately he was lying, cheating, everything from day one. So, you know, it was just all bad. So it turns out that wristband, it had a room number on it. Her cousin had just had a baby the day before. That wristband was a visitor's wristband for that hospital to go see the newborn baby. It turns out that he went to go get a wristband or whatever just to pretend that he was at the hospital, when in reality he was outside my house stalking me to make sure that I was home. Like, he was having me send him my location even though I was home. He was parked outside my house. And the reason why I know this is because it eventually all came out that he was stalking my house, stalking me to make sure that I wasn't being with anybody, I wasn't talking to anybody or doing anything. So yeah, the length. So after he stalked my house, made sure that I was home, made up this whole lie, this whole scenario that didn't happen. He went to the hospital, and the thing is, he didn't even visit the cousin. He checked in just for the wristband and bounced. Like a freaking psycho, right? I'm like, oh my gosh. So like, I know I shouldn't be using those terms like so loosely, but it just boggles my mind that somebody would go through such extremes. That wasn't the first time that he stalked me. He stalked me at my job, my house, everywhere. I already told you guys, I had to put a restraining order on him. Like, he turned out to be so crazy, and it ended up that he was on drugs. So yeah, that is one of the craziest lies that I was ever told by a guy. The extremes and the lengths that he went through just to cover up that he was a psychopath. Oh my gosh. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this story time, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.